we'll try to make something out of this.
That we will, as we are live here tonight on the American Sim Network. Thank you for bringing us in there, John. Perhaps unintentionally, but nonetheless bringing us in. I'm Matt Egan, joined by Jeff Wood and John Silcheski for the finale, the grand finale, if you will, of the Support the Troop Truck Series. Winter season 2019-20 edition, whatever you may want to call it. Not the biggest field in the world, but I tell you what, we got an interesting championship battle in store ahead of you folks, so you ain't going to want to miss a moment of this race. I'll tell you what, of course I pressed the wrong button. I want to bring the drop down menu. I bring up the grid, so I'm an intelligent person for that. But who is ready for tonight?
Oh, sorry about that, Matt. Yeah, I was conversing with the league admin there to let us know at the end of the night, officially on the Danalisa side of things, that's where it's calculated to know who's going to be champion. It's going to be right now it's a two-man race. We were just talking about that. The reason why you heard John there say what he did is just it's literally a two-man race without the points reset, and I can't even say that for sure. If not, I haven't been told anything, so I'm just going to assume top four, they're spreading points numerically. The top two have a chance at winning, and right now it's Justin Michael in the 87's race to lose and championship to lose.
Yeah, that is for sure. John Silcheski, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to seeing if Mitchell can pull this one off. Michael's been very strong all year, 5 wins, got top 10 in all but 3 races. He's got that points lead. Let's see if Mitchell can make a race of it or if Michael's going to run away with it.
Yeah, that is a good thing to be looking forward to seeing. How about some of our new drivers, though? We got Dylan Gonez, the Canadian boy wonder. A little bit towards the back of the speed charts right now. No matter, though. He'll pick it up in qualifying. He's on only, I think, his first lap.
Yeah, a bunch of new guys here filling the field, short fields at the end of the season. Hopefully our guys are going to come back strong. Admins are about to sit down and talk about next season, but we got to end this season first. So all that news can be figured out over on the Facebook page when we release it. So, yeah, as always, I like to say, go check out that Facebook page, Loose Lugnuts Racing Group on Facebook. Get signed up. Even if you're just a fan and you want to know the news so you don't have to hear it from us here tonight, find the Danalisa page, that sort of thing, so you know where your driver stands. It's all over there. Then go sign up. We don't care who's there.
Yeah, look at Jeff Merck looking good on track. You know, he won last week. Unfortunately, wasn't able to put himself into the Final Four. But, you know, he was looking good at Michigan. So I wonder if he can carry that momentum into tonight. That's going to be a big question to be asking, if he can do that. Of course, if he can, be absolutely brilliant for Jeff Merck.
He's got the possibility, Matt. I mean, like you said, Homestead, he snuck a win. He had to win that race and have, incredible other things. He missed top 4 by 2 points.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hell of a run for him. And he's going to play spoiler if he can at Michigan. 2-mile track, incredible amount of laps tonight, 101 laps. So I don't know. It's a long race, and the one person we did talk to about fuel runs said about 25 on average, so plus or minus that. And we're in for a long night tonight. You might hear us talk about some other things inside of NASCAR too.
Yeah, depending on how far the field gets spread out, I think only 14 drivers qualifying, probably only 14 taking the green. So our conversation might bounce around a little bit, but we'll keep it all racing related. Don't you worry. None there, ye of little faith. But anyway, should be a great night, I think, as we watch Kyle Chadwick rock around for a few more extra laps.
Yeah, that man's that 88 machine's found 3/10 in qualifying. I think it's better in the draft, and we're going to see that early on here tonight. We got some shout outs there to Trent Drum over on the YouTube side of things here live, but Trent's going to have to make up a lot of spots. He's not in that Final Four. He had a great run through the top 12, getting in there as that checkered flag starts to fall. So 55 seconds left in qualifying, Trent and every other driver is going to have to make what they can on fresh tires in the draft while also saving some, because you know the 87, the 02, guys like that are going to be saving tires and still being fast.
Yeah, that is for sure, and that is going to be the key to the race here. Conserve, 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 and be fast while doing it. It's a tough game to play, and it's going to come down to who can do it the best.
It's probably come down to the first couple laps. Like last week, that race was won by Justin Michael, and it didn't turn out that way, but it all came down to that last caution, green, white, checkered a couple times. It was going to be a banger of a race at then, and I don't think this is going to be that much different unless we get incredibly stretched out. I mean, we got that extra half mile this week.
Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. Drivers, again, scheduled, I think, to run 101 laps, so what would that come out to be, about 200 miles?
Yeah.
Some
202.
Well, not 200 miles, but about 2 miles. So I don't know. It's a long race. That's a long time on track to put down.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't that be about 200? Because the cup race being 200 laps would be 400 miles, and then half of that would be 200. Or am I doing that math wrong, which I probably am?
I don't know. You did math last week and it was off. So
Yeah.
My math tells me it's 202.
there we go. John
We'll
knows.
go with his math. We'll go with his math because my math was not right. So let's take a look at our starting lineup here. I'll let you roll through that one there, Jeff.
All right. Well, you know the top two guys are starting top two here tonight. What a surprise, right? Justin Michael, fast time 5:45.21. Outside pole, Mitchell Reeves with a 45.53, so just a couple hundredths off. Kyle Chadwick, third. Ronald Klein, fourth. He could play spoiler, just like Jeff Merkin, fifth. Brian Abbott, technical third points, but statistically and numerically, long shot here tonight. And sixth, Gilmore, seventh. Eighth, Jack Watts, probably rookie of the year. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there, see if Jack hears it, because I think he's got a little bit of a surprise coming. Brandon Thornhill, 9th. Trent Drum, 10th. Timothy Smith, 11th. Dylan Gonis, 12th. Mark Jackson, 13th. Judd Danielson, 14th. Non-qualifiers, Greg Mall, 15th. James Haney at 55, 16th. And Kerry Cleaver, 17th.
So potentially 17 drivers starting the race. And it looks like all 17 did take the grid. So there you have it.
I mentioned this last week, Matt. We had a little bit of almost an incident on the starting grid at Homestead, which is on the front straightaway. I think it's safer now to start all vehicles, if they can, on these bigger tracks, 1.5 miles plus, on the the pit road. They don't even have to be backed up all cool looking like, but the tire spins less, and obviously the angle of the track helps too when they take off into gear.
And right now, as they go down the backstretch, getting ready to go green, who's our picks to win the race?
Oh God, let's just agree not to pick the 8702. That's unfair. I'm gonna say spoiler again, Jeff Merck.
All right, so Chesky.
Well, I know you said don't pick the 02, but he won at Auto Club, which is the sister track. It's hard to bet against him, but if I've got to go with someone that's not one of those top two, I'm going to go with Ronald Klein.
Good pick to have. I'm going to go with the man starting fourth, who was a little bit displeased about his speed, the one and only Kyle Chadwick. Or starting third, rather, actually. Pace car down. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. It is the final race of the season underway.
Yeah, nice even start for the top five. We'll have to see what the rest of the field does early on the race. These guys got to find their groove. Everyone wants the same line. Everyone's going to be vying for that. Real battle is up front.
Yeah, that is for sure. Side by side as they go down the backstretch, getting up to speed. Mitchell Reeves walking out to a fast lead. Second place, Justin Michael trying to do what he can to fight back. Ronald Klein third. Chadwick evenly in fourth. They go single file now as they come onto the front stretch. Mitchell Reeves still holding on to it. Top five as they run at the stripe. Mitchell Reeves, Justin Michael, Ronald Klein, Kyle Chadwick, and Jeffrey Merck.
Who's going to load up and save tires? Right now, looks like the 88's having a hard time finding the groove. 76 wants to move into a buffer spot between the 87. That might be a good battle to watch. Obviously, any contact between those two mentioned drivers is a big deal. And Lynn Vermont out there saying, yeah, Trent Drunk can win it. I think Trent's going to have to play some fuel strategy, though, with the speed I've seen him on track. So Trent's got to make some maneuvers here tonight.
Yeah, you know, he does. But it's not entirely impossible. That's the key thing.
Now, we've seen 2 races in the last 2 winter seasons come down to fuel strategy. At least one per, 16 blocker racing. I think Kevin Fetty won one, and gosh, I can't even think who was the one that did it this season.
Yeah, I can't think either. I know there definitely was one, though, if you go back and look at it. And right now, your current race leader, though, it is Mitchell Reeves picking up that all-important bonus point. 5 laps into the race now. Doing absolutely brilliantly at the moment, I'd say.
Yeah, Mitch is out there. Justin's known to save tires. Chadwick has, found a groove right now. So, I don't know. There's just a lot of contention, guys, as we sit right here early on. Too early to call to see what people are going to do. Everyone's just trying to find that special groove that's faster than the guy in front of him, as Jeff Merck looks below the 88 for a second. I don't know if he's going to go for the move, though.
And right now, Justin Michael's still third. Jeffrey Merck, he's going for it. Is it me or does it look foggy on the racetrack? I'm watching it, and it looks like there's a decent amount of fog.
No, I'm seeing the same fog. I mean, who knows what's rolling off the lakes up here.
I wonder if those drivers are having any kind of adverse reaction to that. If Merck backs out of his run there. Justin Michael going for second, trying to pinch Ronald Klein. Oh, contact there.
Minimal contact. Ron's just holding his position. 87 has to realize he does not have to press this early. Obviously just making the best race out of it possible. But Justin Michael, scary moment there. He could have got hooked right. Easy enough. And it wouldn't have been either of those guys' fault. Oh, Merck into the wall.
Yeah, someone's gone down. Does he save it? Yes, he does. Doesn't hit anything.
Weary drivers as the 60 gets back on, loses about 7 spots, it looks like.
So that was absolutely impressive right there.
Well, here's a question for the professional in the booth, Mr. Shulcheski. John, have you taken a car here to Michigan before?
Yes, we have. Our ARCA team, we run ARC races up at Michigan every year.
I mean, what do you find favorable about this track versus like maybe Auto Club? I don't think you go maybe that far west with your team. I'm not really sure, but what is like a favorable run here that you're looking at, and what sort of positioning do you want to make?
Well, we haven't made it that far out to Auto Club yet, but as far as positioning, if you're talking about a line, you want to be as close as possible to the outside wall on the front stretch. Try to avoid anyone side drafting your right side. As far as the kind of car you want to have, set up for a long run car, because the long runs are something that's going to show up at Michigan every single time you go there. There's no question about it. You're going to go through at least one fuel run out on the track.
And that's excluding the new cup package, I'm guessing at least.
Oh yeah, the new cup package especially. I mean, you're going to be wide open the whole time. The closer you are to the wall, the less chance anybody has of side drafting you there. And the cup cars are so air dependent now. Even when you got full throttle, you can still get blown by somebody that's drafting you just right.
Yeah, well, it sounds like old Dale Jr. mechanics of running a super speedway seems to how you got to run the cup, and obviously here why the tires are fresh in these trucks. I'm not seeing a lot of the guys go to the wall immediately out of turn 4. Obviously they do on the back straightaway. Looks like they're defending middle line. Justin Michael dives it down right there, but they're not up against that wall. Is there an aerodynamic type thing up there close to that wall too?
Nothing really major. I mean, you don't get as loose off of the wall. It's a little more stable closer to it. It's a lot harder to pass because someone's going to be a lot more unstable below you.
All right, side by side battle there, Matt. Chadwick's
Yes,
even poking his nose in here.
Yeah, very close racing right now. Justin Michael down on that second groove. Mitchell Reeves up on the third line. Michael trying to slide by. He's got him by the quarter panel now. Side by side, Chadwick giving help to Reeves. It's going to happen for Justin Michael, though. He'll lead lap number 10 at the moment. Mitchell Reeves still there as they go down into 1 and 2, side by side. Mitchell Reeves at his door now. Kyle Chadwick looks to the inside, looks to the outside, works with Mitchell Reeves down the backstretch.
Yeah, me and John are talking about staying up against the wall. Justin goes all the way to the bottom. Mitch goes down to, check him down there to make sure he can't get the line going into the corner. But obviously the O2 had to relent that, door check there to get his positioning.
Here comes Ronald Klein trying to become a factor in this race as well. He's been in 4th, and he's been up around 2nd, 3rd this earlier tonight. I say earlier being about 3 or 4 laps ago, but you got everyone here pretty much under a blanket. I think anyone in that top 4 really is a factor to run. As John mentioned, drafting is key. These trucks don't have enough power to run by themselves, especially not right now.
Now, there's definitely not too much of a driver difference versus tire difference versus, the actual speedway. And, what, crazy moves these guys are putting out at the moment, at least from these top 2, top 3 guys. It's incredible as Chadwick goes for a move.
And Reeves regained the lead there. Kyle Chadwick, as you mentioned, looking to the inside, down into 1 and 2, side by side as they run. Chadwick edging out just a little bit, not quite enough for what he wants. Michael gonna clear him.
Yeah, Chadwick not get the run off the corner. Now he's gonna get challenged by the 76. Justin Michael's gonna take aim. It's the same thing right here. Chadwick's going to block the 76 from getting the run off the corner. Can Ron do something different with it, though?
That's going to be the question.
I think if you're going to make a move side by side, it's good up to the front stretch. And, the back stretch, you just want to play momentum with that. You don't want to come off that corner wrong.
I think it depends on if Ronald Klein gets any help, which he very well might. He's got Brian Abbott in tow behind him. Now, if Abbott will stay behind him, which it doesn't look like he will, that would have helped him immensely down the back straightaway. Ronald Klein trying to gain a little bit of momentum, as you mentioned. Now he's going to look again, probably on the front stretch.
Yeah, Ron's definitely running a quicker line off the corner of 4 right there, sucks up to the back of the 88, dives it down low. That probably killed a lot of momentum as soon as he did that. He had an incredible run. Might have been, good enough to push the 88 for a lap and a half at that point.
Yeah, they are side by side as they run right now. Ronald Klein looking to the inside. And this has pretty much been the story of the night. Drivers will get next to each other, but passing, it's very difficult. And you kind of have to have, as you mentioned, just more speed, more momentum. And a lot more of it to make it happen.
People might be wondering why the top 2 guys, Mitchell Reeves, Justin Michael, are able to pass and still be fast to one another. They don't worry about the pass. If you get below them, you get to a certain point at their door, they let you pass to try to gain better, position on the track.
And Ronald Klein up to third now. Look at Kyle Chadwick under fire from Brian Abbott. This is going to be pretty interesting to see what Abbott can do. He has had a phenomenal chase. He's come to life, really, in the last few weeks, I must say.
Yeah, Abbott's one of those guys that's knocking on the door of a win. I can't wait to see him during the spring and summer seasons and into our, our full-time winter season next time around in the 2020, 2021, whatever the dates may be. But, 8 top 10 finishes so far, barring here tonight. So Brian App's had a heck of a season, just missing that win now.
And right now, the man out front is Justin Michael. They've been swapping that off pretty much on and off every lap or so. You look at the amount of lead changes we've had. We've had 3, and I know it's been 17 laps, but, they'll change, lead for 3 or 4 laps, then change again. And that's really been the tempo of the race so far. And I think that's interesting to see.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit strong right now. Tires are wearing. We're lap 18 around the speedway. If the marker is 25, that's 7 laps of driver mobility and possible, if you save tires. How much did you save? How many laps can you get out of that save? We'll have to see now who's out front. This is where you got to set up. I think if anyone's going to look at it, short pitting, we talked about Trent Drum earlier. Any guys that want to play spoiler tonight versus those top 2 guys, you got to maybe short pitter towards lap 23, lap 24, numerically looking at the 25 lap count fuel window.
And right now, looking at Jack Watts gaining on Brian Abbott and gaining quite a significant margin. Take a look there.
Yeah, he moves well on that front stretch.
And doing a phenomenal job, as you can see. Gained a lot of ground on the front straightaway, kind of lost it in the corner. And the question is, does he gain it back here? Yes, he does. Look at this. He gained about a truck length and a half, trying to gain a little bit more, get to his back bumper, get the good run off. That's going to be the key.
Yep, pick for Rookie of the Year right there, Jack Watts, the 084, just showing what he can do out here.
And right now you can see, waiting behind them, driver like, say, Brandon Thornhill. Maybe he's got something to show. He looked good last week at Homestead, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Thornhill, he top 3 truck, obviously got wrapped up in some business there. Maybe Michigan not more his style. Obviously, I like Homestead. A lot of people practiced Homestead back in the day because leagues, iRacing, that's where it ended, and that's where you wanted to be strong at the end. So a lot of guys have strong trucks at Homestead. Maybe not so much Michigan on a single car run, but Thornhill, he's closing out his season 6th place in points and just missed the top 4 himself, just like Jeff Merck. So, he's looking at a phenomenal season, just missing a win himself here on the asphalt side.
And right here, 21 laps in, we're closing in on those pit stops. Looks like Justin Michael might hold on to the lead for the rest of that time. Mitchell Reeves really kind of fallen off recently in the last few laps.
I think it's a good maintain right here from him. He hasn't let him go past 3/10. Looks like he even recaught the draft here on the back end of the 87. 87's been all over the front stretch, making that truck, 5 lanes wide, trying to break the O2 off the back of that air. So,
yeah, it looks like
I don't know.
Working.
Guy that's clearly gained is Ronald Klein. I think Ronald Klein looks to have the better long run truck inside the top 4 at the moment.
And Ronald Klein, definitely, I agree. He's got a lot of speed there. You actually look at lap times. Here's the most interesting thing. His best lap time, faster than both of your leaders. His current lap times, well, he's on par with Justin Michael, actually a little bit faster, and he's faster than Mitchell Reeves. So Ronald Klein is the fastest truck in this lead group. It's a wonder why he isn't leading. Maybe something to do with that draft, what we've been talking about, or maybe a little bit of tire conservation, or maybe he's just waiting until after the caution or pit stop cycle through. Either way you want to slice it, Ronald Klein of the top three, he's the truck to beat.
Yeah, right now as it stands, I think if we get a little bit strung out here, and we maintain that through green flag pit stops, as long as Ron has a good pit stop this week, he can gain some time. And that's the key right now. How well is your pit stop game as we look at it? Because we're hitting that window now that I've been talking about.
Yeah, 24 laps in. We'll drop down your running order. Not that giant of a field, but we'll take a look at it and see when drivers elect to come down pit lane.
Well, I'm sure drafting kind of helped, fuel strategy. As long as you weren't out front and you could gain some draft and save some fuel, you may be able to split this up. I know talking about the past, at least, plus or minus 2 is a good margin as we see the 57 come out of the pits.
Yep. Kerry Cleaver towards the tail end of the field hasn't paid yet. Wonder when he'll be coming down. Driver, I think I'm being most interested in driver like, say, Brandon Thornhill, Jack Watts, Kyle Chadwick. Sort of the mid-front pack driver, as when they pit can really change the outcome of the race if they pit early versus pitting late, you know?
Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, 87.02, I was about to say these guys got to stay on par with one another. Top
they
four
all
down.
Come down at the same time.
Thornhill down. Ooh, Brian Abbott cuts off Jack Watts. They're entering the pits. This is going to be interesting. Hopefully no one has sped. No one's going to do any type of, no-nos here on the pit box. Is there going to be any strategy, any two-tire calls?
Mitchell Reeves hits the pit wall here.
Oh, did he make
What a
contact?
mistake. What
Oh.
a mistake. He had to back up in his pit stall, too.
Oh,
wow.
man.
I'm going to have to get down there and see if we got some damage. Keep with them there, John.
Justin Michael away. And there goes Mitchell Reeves as well.
Losing almost any ground he might have gained on Justin Michael coming into pit road. Ronald Klein inherits second.
I'm not seeing no damage here. I think it was a quick buffer, just, stick the fist up under the tire well and pound out the damage. But, geesh, like you said, a horrible pit stop. Good call on that, John.
Let's see if Mitchell can make up some ground on the racetrack after that. He lost a ton of positions there.
I'm worried about time on track as long as we stay green. Positions I think he can pick up. At least to maybe third or fourth place officially on the speedway. It's just he cannot have that big of a time gap. He's going to need some help here now. He's going to need a caution. He's going to need a better pit stop coming up. And does he now officially have to go for 2 tires if this race stays to the status quo?
I think he has to. With the amount of time that he's behind, he's going to have to do something drastic.
And you said he slid the stop, so that's just, worn out tires with some brake pad issues there. Maybe he had too much, rear brake in it.
Yeah, that could be. So right now, your top 3, Michael, Klein, and Gilmore. Where do you think Jeff Gilmore stands on a potential to go to victory lane tonight? We haven't really mentioned him.
Well, Gilmore, like some of the rest of his crew, is a strategist. Gilmore can make long runs. Gilmore's going to make it to the finish most of the time. 57 is playing the odds here. He's rolling the dice as we were at Vegas and NASCAR. He's doing it here at Michigan. I don't even know, betting's legal in Michigan. But so 57. He's on I think he's a 2-lap different strategy ahead of the leaders. That could come into effect of his overall amount of pit stops that he may have to pull.
Yeah, right now, look at Ronald Klein, though, all over the back bumper of Justin Michael. And you'll see Ronald Klein, he's right there, and he's looking kind of maybe half a lane, quarter of a lane up of where Michael's running. He's getting that draft, and at the same time kind of trying to size up where he's going to go if he can intend to make a pass. I think that's a brilliant move.
Yeah, Ron's making a great race here. I don't think he should try and pass the 87. The 87, you should just, do the old, back and forth technique on the 87. Get to his rear bumper, lay off, come back, use the draft. Make the 87 stay on that loud pedal the most. Disrupt the 87. Always see the 76 in your mirror.
Yeah,
Still, Ron with a great pit stop, too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. The more you can wear out Justin Michael's tires, the more you can run down his fuel supply, the better of a spot you'll be in later on tonight.
Yeah, now that we're up to full speed, a couple laps into the run, 7-second margin between Justin Michael and Mitchell Reeves.
That's not good for Mitchell Reeves at all. As you said, he needs a caution, a really good pit stop, and if he gets a really good pit stop, he needs Justin Michael to have a really poor pit stop.
Yep.
That's the other problem.
It's likening to the days of Wes Holland, where you saw Wes Holland and Justin Michael the same way leading. The only way you're going to beat them on these long green flag runs, you pressure them into an abnormal pit stop. I used to do it at Richmond to these fast guys. Just a 1-lap early pit entry, and you force that leader to stay on par with your tires. Maybe Ron has to do it, and obviously I think me and John talking about it, I think Mitch is going to have to take a 2-tire stop at the end of the race. I don't suggest doing it here on the middle pit stops.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned Wes Holland, because Justin Michael, well, he started racing right about the same time Wes Holland was wrapping things up over here.
Yeah, Wes Holland, career victories at Loose Lugnuts. He's the Richard Petty of our league. I think Justin Michael's going to easily be second place at the end of this whole deal.
Yeah,
barring James Lehman's return after his deployment. Stay safe out there, James.
But, Wes came back for 1 or 2 races recently, but I don't think he's doing a full schedule next season, is he?
No. Wes has a new baby, so he's keeping up with the family and busy at work, and we'll see Wes back, I'm sure. He'll do some spot racing, maybe a season or 2 later in the future of Loose Lugnuts.
But as of now, ending his full-time tenure of racing at this league, and absolutely incredible record. But like I said, funny you mentioned that Justin Michael started right about the same time Wes was coming to a close and kind of carrying the torch, if you will, as you touched on that.
Yeah,
he'll probably carry on that same amount of wins without a doubt.
Now Justin though has so back in the day, we were in a short track. We were developing the league to what it is nowadays. And, Wes carried our banner. And like I said, it's the same thing Richard Petty did with winning races and winning championships. Justin now has harder race field to go by, with Mitchell Reeves, Chadwick, Ronald Klein, and the driver who made caution as we talk away.
Well,
this is what Mitchell Reeves needed. Oh, James Haney.
Ah, dear.
I think he brought out the first caution last week at Homestead. We'll have to see what happened to him in turn 2 exit. Oh, it wasn't even him. It was Jeff Merck. Wow.
Yeah, oh dear, that was not good for James Haney or Jeff Merck. Big crash. Both of those drivers put out of commission there, I'd say.
I think Dylan Gones, if you can get an in-car view of where Dylan Gones had to split those guys, boy, oh boy, that was close for the 904.
Well, we'll take a look at it.
John's going to keep us apprised on pit roads real quick.
In car with Dylan Gones. And there's Merck, there's Haney, and oh man, how did he get through that? You want to talk about close? Well, that was just a little bit.
Yeah, he may have received an X or 2X there as he split the middle. iRacing may have not been so nice. It looked maybe like the 60 machine's rear spoiler caught the right side of that door.
So right now, everyone back down on pit lane. Can't blame them there. And great time to hit the pits, I'd say.
Yeah, bonus to Mitchell Reeves.
Yeah, this will help him well, provided he gets out good without any penalties. Not trying to jinx him, but you never know. This would be exactly what he needs.
4-tire stop. John, did he shoot the gap again? It doesn't look like
Come
it.
out third.
Nope, he did not make a mistake. He came out third. He had a perfect pit stop that time.
Justin Michael not happy about the caution. Well, I mean, maybe a 50-50 split, but obviously I think benefactor 0-2 there. There's no doubt about that. Perfect pit stop, like he said. It looked like he did not want to mess up. In fact, I'm going to rag on him a bit because I'm going to bring him up and talk about a poor pit stop versus a good pit stop. Mitch, what do you got to say about that?
Wow, I I don't even know. Surprised I'm in third after I just botched that green flag pit stop, but
yeah, I know you got a lot going on the track. A lot of factors towards the end of this race are going to have to play good for you. But tell us what went wrong in that first green flag pit stop. Why'd you slide the stop? Was it just a braking issue, or did just the balding of the tires?
well, I think I just locked it up going in. I caught up on Justin a lot right there at the entrance of pit road, and I know if I'm going to beat Justin, I've got to race him hard and get him to burn up his tires. That's going to be my game plan. I think, Chadwick's back there, but I think Justin's going to be the one to beat tonight, as he's already in first, as you see. But yeah, just overcooked it and went over, used over talented into pits, but maybe we'll have another chance at it here.
Yeah, well, good luck here tonight with that. I just wanted to bring you up and get your perspective and rag on you a little bit about it. But the blessing befalls you. You get another shot, man.
I appreciate it, Jeff. Thank you, man.
So right now, under caution, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing, should be an exciting restart here. Justin Michael will have the green. Well, John, what have you thought of this race so far?
I think it's been interesting watching how the draft has really played into some people's hands. Like, you see Ronald Klein, he was able to stay right with Justin Michael, and for a while there we thought Justin Michael and Mitchell Reeves were going to run away with this thing. I think it's really cool seeing how how everyone's drafted and been able to hang with each other.
Well, here's my question to you, John. If we get, strung out again on this next round, because we still got pit stops, green flag potential pit stops, do you want a partner coming out of pit road? Do you need a fast partner coming out of pit road to draft off of, to move air around this track?
Be a great idea to have someone around you. I mean, otherwise you're just going to be sitting there dragging all the air that you can, and you're not going to be as fast as anybody else. Plain and simple as that. The amount of air that these trucks punch a hole in, it's really, really amazing how much the draft affects it at a track like Michigan.
So right now, 40 laps in when we take the green. Justin Michael leads us down. Mitchell Reeves third. Ronald Klein second. I gotta say, I've been really impressed with Ronald Klein tonight. He's had just exceptional speed I didn't expect to see out of him, honestly.
Well, qualifying for Ron, he led a lot of laps last week until pit stop and maybe hit the wall, but I want to say this about Ron, and I think John hit on it. I think he accomplished what he needed to off of pit road. We saw Mitchell Reeves fall, but what we did see also was the 76 stay with the fast guy, potential 87 on the track, and make him work. And, you know, Ron can play spoiler just like Jeff Merck did last week.
We'll see how it all plays out. I'll let you get the green as we roll around now.
All right. Yeah. Well, first time getting back underway here. Both incidents involving the 60 machine, I think, who's off the track for the time being, as maybe the 55 too. So we'll get back here to racing. Green flag up to the leader after the pace car drops. There goes the pace car. 87 really holding the field. Off we go.
Come on, green.
Justin Michael with a huge jump. Looks like Mitchell Reeves is going to get to the inside of the 76 right there, and 88 is going to swallow up there in fourth with a lot of contention from 57.
And right now, Mitchell Reeves, he's got a great restart, but he's trying to pull up to him. And look at Kyle Chadwick looking to the inside of Ronald Klein. Look for only a moment, but hey, he's there. That's the big thing.
Yeah, 88, 76 probably have to play nice with one another right now. 87 is trying to get away from the 02. 02 really struggled on that lap, maybe holding back to the 76 for some draft. I don't know what's beneficial to break the draft or stay with the draft if you're the 87.
Well, I think common logic, or, you know, what most people would want to do is get away from the guys, because you think, well, if I'm stuck with them, they might pass me, I might get involved in a wreck, so let me get away from them. But at the same time, if I draft with them, I save fuel, I might be able to save tires, I might not have to push as hard, so I think it's all a matter of driver preference at the end of the day.
Well, here comes the 76 on strong. I always mention at the beginning of these runs, drafting partner or draft itself is good. And then, you know, using what you can efficiently, usually using what you can at the beginning of these runs. Make up what you can and then let your driving style be the next thing once the tires go down.
And right there, Justin Michael pulling away to about a truck length lead, 0.2 of a second on Mitchell Reeves. I gotta say, I'm happy to see Mitchell Reeves back there up in the front of the field. He's got a fast truck, but he's got to do something with it. We're closing in on the halfway mark of this race.
I don't know, John, you're going to have to speak to this. Green flag pit stops or, you know, caution pit stops. Nerves are high either way. Now, obviously, it's a simulated pit stop, but let's try to put those nerves on the driver. What's more nerve-wracking, or is it just pit stops in general?
Green flag stops are always a little bit more difficult for a driver to get acclimated to, because they've just been driving 200 miles an hour and they got to slow down to 55, and they start overthinking because they're thinking at 200 miles an hour, not 55, and that makes it very easy to slide through your pit. It's very easy to make a mistake and get in the wrong position on your pit. I've had that many times with drivers where they just are thinking too much coming in off of a green flag stop. A caution stop, they got a little bit more time to think and calm down before they come down. So yeah, your tensions are definitely high.
Yeah, it's very true. Good point to bring up there. Caution giving drivers a kind of chance, as you mentioned, to kind of reset their brain.
I think caution stops. You know, we're simulated, but iRacing takes away the hit box when we're in our pit stalls. So I don't know. Caution stops may be a little bit more, you know, promising on the nerve-wracking side if you had to worry about your competitor getting into their stall correctly. I don't know. That's for future, but the 02 and the 87
right
and
on top of each
76
other again.
Point, yeah. I think Ron could, you know, set both these guys up at once and knock them down right here in the corner. Oh, I was expecting a dive.
Yeah, I saw Mitchell Reeves. He thought about it, but then he probably thought, well, if I dive it in there and I take him out, I'm going to take myself out, and then neither of us win a championship. So, probably thought better of it.
Yeah, Gilmore there on the side of the 88 now.
That he is. Jeff Gilmore, Happy Gilmore, car number 57. Now, he won the Summer Cup Series championship. Unfortunately, not going to win this truck championship, but hey, you can't say that he won't have a good run, at least trying to do it.
No, Gilmore's one of those guys that, probably required a lot of races. Same thing with Chadwick, I think, could have made a better run at this truck series if he had a win. Something to boost maybe a win at the end of the season or a win at the beginning of the chase to boost that momentum. He hasn't had a lot of momentum boost coming off that incredible summer and beginning of the winter season, 88 at least. Same thing with the 57. They both were in that margin. And it's actually kind of funny to see them side by side, our summer champions, now, looking outside to the next champions.
Yeah, that is for sure. And you know what would be cool? I just saw this: race of champions. Take the summer champions, the winter champions from, say, the last 2 seasons. Have like an all-star race with them. I'd love to watch that.
A lot of our champs are retired.
Well, get them back out here.
Well, I have 6. Wes has 13. I think Ron has a couple. Jeff Merck has a couple. So, Jeff Gilmore, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of champions that are no longer with Loose Lugnuts. But it would be fun. You're right. Old school racing. And throw John in there, too, for fun.
Yep.
And let's see John Hedrick take a couple laps rather than lead the field at Charlotte.
Yeah, that would be great to see. I tell you, we got to do it. The champions that are still active and get the ones that aren't, if we can, get them back into at least for one night. I'd love to see you guys.
I would need some practice, that's for sure, and better internet.
It'd be fun to call that.
Oh, yeah.
Be in the booth for a change. It'd be good.
Oh, yeah. I would love to turn the wheel again. I'm sure it's in the cards of the future.
And you can see Mitchell Reeves all over the back end of Justin Michael. And, he's sizing up his opponent, just kind of waiting for the right time. It's like, kind of like a shark. He's waiting for the right moment to strike, because he knows if he goes now, he's not going to make any ground. He'll get to his door panel, sure, he'll be there side by side, probably for the back stretch, maybe down the front stretch, and then he'll lose him in turn 1. He'll eat up his tires, eat up his fuel. And what's he going to get out of it? He's going to get nothing. But he waits for the right moment, say maybe Justin Michael, a little too hard into turn 3, washes up a little bit. Mitchell Reeves will dive on in there and get right past him, take the lead right back, I tell you. So that's what Mitchell Reeves is doing. He's just kind of waiting for the right moment.
I bet it before, too. You just got to use the yo-yo effect sometimes when it's hard to pass. That's fixed setup racing in a nutshell sometimes. You just got to do what you can to manipulate the truck within, the settings you have, and also what the track can give you. With a fixed setup, there's usually one, and this wide of a track, there's probably at least 2 grooves. But, they're finding the fast groove both together, maybe a half or a quarter truck apart from their lines. But I don't know. Mitchell Reeves, I think Mitch has to pressure the 87 the entire time until we get to pits. That's my call right now. See that green racegear.com the entire time until you have to pit. That's all you want him to think about, and then go, oh crap, I got to pit.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And like you said, it's just a matter of getting in the mind as well. Kyle Chadwick looking for the position. He's closing in on Ronald Klein, lapping a little bit faster than Ronald Klein by about 1,000th of a second.
Yeah, he's using draft now, the 88 machine. He's got to the bumper a couple times. I think he's just a little bit out of groove right now from the 76. 76 is running probably a better tire margin off the corners, and 88's using a lot of the track, a lot of tires, getting a good run on the straightaways, but 76 is beating them off the corners.
Yeah, Justin Michael doing great at the moment. Mitchell Reeves still second. And look at Mark Jackson. Driver we haven't talked about much tonight, just sitting back there, not keeping things casual. but
Yep,
looking for a good run.
Back to his Support the Troops Truck Series paint scheme since he's ran since Memorial Day, I think it was, or Veterans Day. I get them always mixed up. But U.S. Air Force, that nice paint scheme from Over the Top Designs. I'm going to stop saying Over the Top Paints and Designs, but Over the Top Designs. So, go check them out. They got their own Facebook page. A lot of painters out there now involved, including Kevin Winter.
Yeah, Kevin Winter does great work with Over the Top Designs, as well as John Hendrick. Great paint schemes you'll get there. Some of the best on iRacing, I'd say.
Yeah, if you need an immediate scheme for iRacing and you're running like a throwback or whatever it is, what type of league you're running, and they call for that scheme or that look for that race, John can have it. He's got an arsenal of those things ready and going, and can customize them just as well as anyone.
Yeah, and we're not just saying that because they're a sponsor. You look at those paints, and they really are amazing.
Yeah, John's been at it painting vehicles here on iRacing as long as Lugnuts has been up. Obviously, one supports the other hand, so it's been good to see.
And right now, Justin Michael just doing a great job, as we said, holding on to that race lead. When do you think we see him back down pit lane?
I think we went green lap 40. You called out.
I can take a look and tell you.
Well, there we go.
We'll find out in just a moment. New session flag, green, lap 38.
Well, plus 25 from that. I think all 26 laps on the leaders, or 25 plus an extra lap, with them not completing the full lap at speed on lap 26. So.
So it should be coming up.
Yeah, I mean, we're just beyond halfway of this race, so still technical 2 pit stops that need to be had, and we'll be hearing a lot about it as long as the status quo stays the same. Speaking of that status quo staying the same, me and Panic on Sundays on Max Speed, we're talking about the status quo of NASCAR, and technically, Robert Matisse is right. He's saying Denny Hamlin won Daytona, Joey Logano won Vegas, and he's calling Kyle Busch to win Auto Club, which is the same as last season. And he's calling it boring. Would you say the same thing for NASCAR at that state if it keeps up the same way?
I'm going to have to go with no on that, because while maybe we have the same winners so far, you watched that race last week at Las Vegas, and if you say that's boring,
you just like third place. Don't get yourself in a bunch. You like to finish third place there.
Second.
Oh, second. Sorry.
Second place.
Third place. No, Stenhouse was third. Second place was Kligerman.
No, the Benedetto.
But I get them mixed up.
Kligerman don't race, unfortunately, but
yeah.
I think Reeves down
Mitchell
pit lane.
Reeves coming to pit road.
But,
oh wow.
But I'll wrap it up real quick. But aside from that, though, that entire race was amazingly exciting, a lot more than last year, because the package is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing, as opposed to last year where it did it for maybe 5 laps. So it's good racing. And I don't think we're going to see Kyle Busch win Auto Club. If you want my pick on Auto Club, I'm going to say it's going to be one of the Hendrick cars. Did you see how fast they were last week? I mean, Chevy's back.
They just got to finish. Chase Elliott. More than Byron.
Well, Chase Elliott, it wasn't his fault. I mean, that was...
No, it wasn't.
That was absolute
how good of a
brilliance
stop
by the
was
tire
that?
changer.
That 02 got out pretty good from what I could see. I missed the camera angle.
Yeah, down
Justin
in the
Michael
way.
down.
Yeah, he got out pretty good. I'm a little worried about how fast he was coming in. He looked like he might have been cooking a little.
So we'll have to watch that though too. 87's in, 88, 084. So second round of pit stops, 1 lap difference. I'm surprised that the 02 and the 87 are on different marks.
Well, hey, maybe, he figured he's not going to pass him on the racetrack under green. He's got to pass him on the pit stops. Justin Michael, no speeding penalty.
And that we know of. That would just doom a season right here at this point.
Chadwick spinning at the exit.
What was that?
Chadwick spun on the way out of pit road there. Kept it
Oh,
off the
dear.
wall, though.
Oh boy. Well, I
Oh,
mean,
yes,
he's
he
probably
did.
fourth or fifth fastest truck tonight. He's got some time to make up. Maybe needs that miracle on ice that Mitchell Reeves received.
I hate to tell you, but he didn't keep it off the wall either. He just lightly tapped it with his nose. Gave it a little bit of a love tap, if you will. Brandon Thornhill cycles around to be the race leader as we work through these pit stops.
Yeah, it's good to see the 68 out in clean air, running some fast laps. I know Thornhill probably needs a little bit more time or seat time at Michigan to be as effective as he was at Homestead. But boy, what a race he put on last week, getting up to third place.
Yeah, that is for sure. How about Kerry Cleaver right now? He's up to third. I know this is only because of the pit cycle, but still, good to see him towards the front of the field for the moment.
Yep, looks like the 906. Greg Mull working on him and passes him. Greg Mull had an internet connection issue earlier, threw him off the lead lap, reconnected. But yeah, Kerry Cleaver, another one of those rookies, a little bit less of a part-time schedule than what the 084 Jack Watts said. Jack Watts running every race this year in the trucks, all I think 18 races now.
And right now, you can see these guys. When do you think they're going to come down? These front runners that haven't yet pitted.
They may be pushing it to the 25 lap mark. Obviously, with that caution coming out where it did, you could short pit it and still make it on one stop. I think that's what those guys were trying to do, was stretch the last stop, which is, you know, mind-boggling in my head, thinking of loose lug nuts trying to stretch the last stop. These guys are famous for that green-white checkered as of late.
Right now, second place, Mark Jackson. Kerry Cleaver in the pits.
Yeah, Judd, I think, has to pit. Judd Danielson at 85 for Bruising Machine.
And here comes Mark Jackson. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle, none too bad though.
Well, John, if you were running at full speed, where do you get down here without telling anyone, obviously over the radio, as we have that option to do on iRacing? But if you were going to signal, I'm going to pits here, real life or iRacing, where do you get down? Is it middle of turn 3? Do you scrub speed off at turn 4 and try to dive it down? What's your throw there?
Depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to maximize the speed you can down there, you put your hand out the window down the backstretch far enough so that everyone can see it, and you continue to run your line. But when you're coming out of 4 at this track, you want to be right on that white line, right on exit where everyone would normally scrub up towards the wall and allow the speed to carry them there. You're going to stay down as low as possible.
I just saw a difference between a couple guys not diving, but putting the truck below the white and on the exit of 3, beginning of 4, and then some guys just taking all their speed into the brake pedals and turning left onto pit road.
And you see, who's that coming out of pit lane there? I think, was that Jack Watt, or no, Judd Danielson.
Yeah, Judd's away. Thornhill, the last guy to pit. I think Thornhill's playing the long shot of tires. Technically, Thornhill could short pit his next pit stop, not by much, but be back on par with our leaders. And wouldn't you know, the 0 and the 87 are door to door.
Yep, and there goes the 87 back to the race lead.
1 lap tire difference between these two. I'm sure if we saw stop times, these guys would be almost identical with those green flag pit stops.
side by side. Pretty tight together there as they go through the corners here. Mitchell Reeves, I think, barely edges him out.
Yeah, just by a nose there at the line. They're still door to door, which is fine. I think Ronald Klein, 2.5 seconds back, really appreciates the opportunity to gain some time as these 2 points leaders battle it out. Like I said, at this point, technically Mitchell Reeves will have to win. Justin Mike will have to fall back a couple spots. You get a bonus point for winning. These guys have both led laps, so that's out the door. It's all about the win, and where the 87 finishes.
And right now, they're pretty much going wheel to wheel.
If you wanted your contenders to make a race at the end of the season, these guys are putting on a hell of a show. They barely separated except for the one mistake the O2 made. And it's just been nonstop action between the 87 and the 02. That's the closest I've seen those guys come to bumper tagging.
Yeah, I'm watching how close they are, and I'm thinking that there might be something there that's going to happen soon.
2 best guys in the league on the track at the moment. So hands down the 02 and the 87. We'll see what contenders come out of spring and summer as we start the next winter season sometime in the future of 2020. It's going to be fun what the 02 and the 87, what competition those guys inspire amongst those other drivers.
It'll definitely be a good one to watch, that's for sure. 33 laps to go. Next pit stop, it'll be the last one.
These guys are hitting like they had to go to 85, which has been our mark for like 4 or 5 weeks now. Now they got to go to lap 101. I hope they notice the difference, or unless that's just a iRacing error that we don't know about.
Right there, 70 in. Yep. Look at Ronald Klein. He was looking so fast earlier, and I don't know what happened, but he's fallen kind of off the face of the earth.
Pit cycle, man. We noticed how well he got out with the 87 when Mitchell Reeves didn't. He didn't have no help. I think Ron even used one extra more lap than Justin Michael did.
Well, that would definitely do it.
I think the talk of the night right now is the 7 of Jeff Gilmore. I mean, out of nowhere, haven't seen him in a couple races, or maybe since Phoenix or Milwaukee, but that Fitz-Evan is doing a heck of a job up there in 4th place. Only 5 seconds back. I didn't think he had a shot to win it, but showing how strong of a truck. Yeah, I mean, a caution could. Let's don't jinx these guys. They do it enough on their own. 57 almost off the wall there.
And right now,
well, barring that match with Lemire again, we were talking a little bit of esports, especially on the Bruzy side of things earlier. I know I mentioned on Max Pina a couple weeks ago here on ASN with the Abruzzi Raceware USA sponsoring with Stuart Haas e-racing and sponsoring the drivers. I think it's the 41 of Duval and the 10. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. That sticky note has disappeared, but we saw California and we saw a different winner. So different winners at least on the esports side of things.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And pretty cool that sponsorship, too. I gotta say, that is incredible in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I like the sponsorship. I like what, these teams bring to the sim racing side of things. And then we have, Coca-Cola now. Hey, it's just more... I hate to say it, more money for these guys, but these guys invest a lot of times. Our guys in our league invest a ton of time. I can't imagine what the top tier of sim motorsports do. Amount of time you got to put down for a setup or track or whatever it may be.
Right now, you can see Judd Danielson rather as we watch him, as we talk about Abruzzi, and watch him race the 57. Now, Danielson a lap down. He needs that lap back.
Yep, Judd does need that lap back, and he's working. I think he just got caught on the long end of a pit cycle, wrong way around for the 85.
Be inclined to agree with you on that one.
Timothy Smith up there on the lead lap. I know he's said he's been struggling for speed. Just to point out for any drivers watching, at least in my future, I'm seeing some sessions coming up for our drivers to get in with one another and talk about racing, and I obviously do it on an extended practice session. We'll see what comes up in the future, but Timothy Smith, those drivers that are looking for speed on the asphalt side of things and want to know what maybe Justin Michael or Mitchell Reeves are doing better than they are, and here's the time, and I'm going to try to provide a space for those guys to do it and get to know this. That's how you improve the league out here, and I'm glad to see guys like Timothy Smith, Dylan Gonis, Greg Mall, all those guys show up here at the end of the season and look for some seat time.
Yeah, Timothy Smith, pretty decent driver too. I know he's running 12th right now, but we've seen him have some decent speed some nights.
Yeah, I think he's done a lot of time recently, but finally getting his niche here on the asphalt. And talking about the 12 there on the YouTube chat, Trip Drum up to 9th right now, doing what he can. He is moving up some spots. He probably could find 1 or 2 more spots on this green flag fuel run.
Ronald Klein down and away with his pit stop. Looks like he's going to try to stretch it to the end here.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a short pit there, ain't it?
Oh, yeah. We're right on that 25, 26 lap fuel window for Ronald Klein. So there goes his he's played his cards right now.
If we get a caution, he's screwed.
That's the best he can do. Oh, yeah, especially lap down. But he's going to pass the leaders here in the next couple laps, I think, with those fresh tires, unless he went with a 2-tire stop to gain even more traction time. Did you see how many tires he put down there, John?
He took 4.
Safe enough stop, I guess. But the fuel window's the key here for the 76. And he's gaining draft.
Kyle Chadwick also went down with him. I didn't see if they're going to exit and draft together, but looks like they're both on the same strategy.
Yeah, they are. Chadwick is probably, I don't know, 7, maybe 6 seconds back from the 76 though.
So right now, it'll be just a question of who played the right fuel game, I think, for determining the winner.
Yep, here's the 76. He has to watch what tires he eats. Yeah, he gets back the lap the hard way. He's going to have to stretch at least 2 to 3 seconds to have a favorable margin out of pit road.
And like that, Mitchell Reeves is coming down for his final pit stop.
Wow, I did not expect this.
To pit early.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think Ron's the one that triggered it for sure, at least for his teammate. Justin may just want to sit out there. Like I said, he has to know his gap between Mitch and himself can only be 3 spots with Mitch winning, 4 spots with Mitch not winning. So I would stay out on the track and no, he doesn't. Well, that's a lot of speed for the 87.
And right now, going to take a look at that 87. As he does his pit stop, potentially with the speeding penalty, hopefully not.
It looked like he doesn't seem to be, wiggling the truck back and forth. I was this late in the season and got a speeding penalty on green flag pit stop. I might door the wall just for the heck of it.
Well, let's see. Do they let him out? Yes, they do. You know he's happy to see that go.
Yeah, I think a penalty into the pit road now equals a 40-second hold.
don't know about 40 seconds. I haven't had the speeding penalty in a while, though, so I'm not entirely sure.
And, well, there's a buffer now on the speedway. O2 has the lead, 76 in second, 87 in third, respectively, through their cycle. Now it's triggering the rest of the field to stop.
And right now, Dylan Gonez in, Brandon Thornhill hitting the pits, exiting the pits as we speak. Trent Drum leading his first laps. You know, everyone in the chat gonna be happy about that. You got Trent Drum's fan club.
Yeah, I would tell him to lead this lap and then get on pit road. If you can speak to him personally, tell him not to get too much tire separation from those leaders.
So Trent Drum fan group gonna be real happy with 20 laps to go here tonight.
Yeah, if you're looking to make something different, now's the time for 2 tire stops. I don't see anyone doing it just yet. Obviously, I think if you're going to do it, you're going to have to do it on a short pit stop.
And we'll see what Trent Drum does right now. Trent Drum electing to stay out another lap. You know, you already got the fan group happy there, Trent. You can pit now.
Yep, keep your lead lap, buddy.
I don't know if he can hear us, but just in case he can, hope he knows. He's got people happy.
He doesn't need that type of tire difference. I'm just now seeing the 084 off the track. Not sure what happened with Jack Watts, but 11 laps ago at least.
Yeah, Trent Drum looks like he'll come him down this time. So he'll lead 3 laps officially, I think. Or will Mitchell Reeves get to the line before Trent does? Yes, he does. And look at Justin Michael trying to get by Ronald Klein.
Yeah, it's going to be a... I think we're all waiting to see if the caution comes out. That's going to be the unknown, because I think the 87, yeah, the 87 can definitely get back to the bumper. The 02, even if the 02 wins it here, the 87 is the champion without a points reset. So,
well, without jinxing it right here, we've only had 1 caution, so I got a feeling we're going to go green to the end.
Well, 1 caution sufficient. 17 car field. I think, obviously, maybe 2, maybe 3, depending on how you like your racing. But, you know, we've been known here at Lugnuts to supply that caution and make it fun in the booth, at least. I know those drivers do not like the caution at the end of the race, especially when they think they haven't won.
I don't think anyone wants that late race caution, you know?
No, you know, it actually... Even though the 02's leading this race, it might benefit the 02 to have it, to see if the 87 can be fooled to go on pit road or get involved in something when the cars are bunched back together. I don't know. It happened last week at Homestead with the 87 got punted back to like 8th or 9th place. But so did the 02.
Well, right now, 15 laps to go, and the fog is rolling in again. I don't know if you see that, but I see just a little bit of it. Not too much, though.
No, the ladies out there on the YouTube chat have been keeping track of the weather conditions better than you, Matt. They've noticed the fog a lot.
Yeah, that they have. I noticed that every once in a while. I'll look down at the chat, and they'll notice it. And good on them, though. That's good to see that they're keeping an eye on track conditions. Hopefully relaying that information to their driver.
And this is still a hot, slick track. They talk about a tight setup or whatnot, about it pushing towards the wall. That's race conditions, I think, more than anything, more than setup, especially at these temperatures.
right now, 14 laps to go at the stripe.
This is going to be really interesting. 12 of Trent Drum gets out of the way. Goes officially a lap down in 11th place.
And not too surprised there to see Trent Drum lose the lap. You knew that was going to happen after he played his pit strategy the way he did.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about Trent Drum, and it's good for him to lead a lap or whatnot. But I would have immediately went to pit road. He did an extra lap, which I think cost him about 2 or 3 seconds. Maybe not kept him on the lead lap totally, but, you know, like I said, with a lot of these guys that were looking outwards, maybe looking to pull an upset, you would have to short pit at the end. However, those lead lap drivers took away that option with their own short pit.
Yeah, right now, 12 laps to go at the stripe. Mitchell Reeves trying to win this race. He might not win the championship, but maybe still win the race. And that'll be a key thing for him if he can.
Oh, chop nose with the 0-2 there.
Yeah, they're right on top of each other. Mitchell Reeves not wanting to let him by at all. They're beating and banging.
87 backed off. Probably wise with still 11 laps to go on the field.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be too close yet, but I got a feeling that even if he gets close again, Mitchell Reeves isn't going to play too nice. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
I don't see Mitchell Reeves exactly backing off anytime soon.
Justin's definitely the faster truck at the moment. Well, at least can make up the speed due to draft.
Yeah, I was going to say, lap time-wise, Mitchell Reeves is actually faster by about 0.2. Or by about 1/10, rather. It isn't much, but hey, it's something.
This is just a battle brewing for the championship here. Mitch knows he has to finish in front of the 87. You know, I don't know what the drivers have been told. I'm really unsure if it was reset for tonight, the points-wise, and it's winner take all. But I think I'd rather be second place at the moment if that was true, because I'd just move the 0-2 out of the way. That's what they do in NASCAR, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. Side by side as they run here.
'87 Relentless finally gets the spot back. They're still not giving it an inch.
Yeah, no, they're going to probably wind up wrecking each other here.
Well, as long as Justin finishes 3 places ahead of his wreck competitor, right?
Going at it right there, and they got close. I mean, Michael's in front, but I don't see Mitch giving up easy.
No, Justin, I think, again, with a lap or 2 different tires versus the 0-2, Justin just really knows how to maneuver this truck. And like I said, these are the 2 best guys in the league at the moment, with the 87 and 0-2, Justin Michael, Mitch Reeves, respectively. It's just incredible to watch these guys battle for a championship this close entering tonight, this close entering last week. We just knew it was going to shape up this way.
And right there, 7 to go at the stripe. And we're watching these 2 trucks. There's about truck length between the 2 of them, not much more.
Yeah, it looks like the 87 is going to space it a bit off the corner there. Oh, contact between the 3 and the 99 out there, or
Oh, boy.
Timothy Smith and the 901.
Yep, Jeff Gilmore getting by Smith now as well. 7 laps to go. Not a lot of racing left. If we get a caution, it would likely become a GWC situation.
Yeah, we're in that margin of error where iRacing could throw it out. I think you'd have to have 1 to go at the line before the green-white checkered. If it's 2 to go, they'll let you run a 2-lap race at the end.
Right there. We are right on top of each other for position. This is for 4th.
Yeah, Mark Jackson finishing out a great night here. I think Gilmore is a strong truck here at Michigan. It's been good to see if he was in the points battle, what he could have done with maybe a 4th or 5th place finish here at Michigan tonight.
And right there, you're coming to 5 to go. And the question is, do you think we get another caution?
I'm looking through the field to see who's playing mean amongst their competitors, but it doesn't look like anyone. They're all strung out amongst one another. The closest battle is still the 3 in the 57. So if anything's going to happen right now, that's where I would look in these final few laps.
Yeah, right there. And look at the gap for the lead. Justin Michael now about a 10th quicker than Mitch Reeves, and he's pulling away.
Yep, is the style of the 87 to find something extra there at the end of a race.
Three laps to go next time by. Again, Justin Michael, your current leader. Gilmore looks to the inside for 4th.
Yeah, Mark gives it up. And bad thing is he's going to have to contend with that 901 or the 99 there. 99 stays to the bottom, allows Mark Jackson to probably regain his footing. Mark Jackson, I don't know, maybe those tires are just all the way scrubbed off down that 3 machine. Outside pass there from the 68. What a good pass.
Great running by Brandon Thornhill, and look at here he comes again. He's got a lot of speed in that truck.
Well, if he would have started out at Phoenix and Milwaukee this way with that 68 machine, with these style of finishes, we would be talking about him trying to get into the top 4 in points.
And that is for sure.
Still weary with that 99. Oh, contact. Boy, they got to watch it here at the end. We're almost coming down for the final lap.
Yeah, last lap coming up. Justin Michael, lap and a half to go.
Boy, it almost happened, by the way.
Yeah, that it did.
That'd have been 2 weeks in a row for Justin Michael.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too great now, would it? Final lap of the race coming at you for somebody over the top designs.
Well, barring anything else, I think Justin Michael will be our champion.
Yeah, I think you may be right on that.
What a long race to sweat it out.
Going through 3 and 4 here. Off of turn number 4, coming to the checkered flag. Your likely season champion, Justin Michael. Mitchell Reeves coming home 2nd, 3rd. Looking for Ronald Klein here. And there he is, coming across the stripe. And Jeff Gilmore will be 5th with Brandon Thornhill 4th.
What a run for that 68 in the last few laps of that race, too. Made up like 3 spots.
Without a doubt, Mark Jackson. 6th, 7th will be Chadwick. 8th will be Brian Abbott. Kerry Cleaver, I should say. Then Dylan Gonez. Trent Drum. Timothy Smith. Judd Danielson. Greg Mall. Jack Watch. James Haney. And Jeff Merck, unfortunately, rounds out the field last after a great run last week. Not able to back it up this week. But I'll tell you what, Jeff, I'll let you get the interview with our race winner and, like I said, likely series champion.
Yeah, Justin Michael, 87 machine. You talked to me on Lugnut TV before the season. You said, if I'm committed to a season, I'm winning a championship. Well, here it is, buddy. 87 in the 501 tactical machine gets a truck championship.
Yeah, that was a good race. The last 5 laps there, my hands were shaking. They're going to hurt tomorrow because I had a death grip on that wheel the whole race. Mitchell ran really clean. It was a really, really fun race. A lot of side-by-side racing there. He ran a good race. I got him into him in there one. I didn't expect him to chuck up that hard, but no harm, no foul to either of us. But it was fun, that's for sure. It's a good season.
Yeah, I mean, the 87, 6 wins with the win here tonight. So taking literally a third of the races away from your competitors and putting that spot in your hands. You know, you had a lot of positive things go your way. You seem to be a strong driver. Tell the fans out there what makes you a champion.
Just a lot of practice and consistency. I've been doing this a long time, since NASCAR 1 back in the mid-90s. So you just got to keep with it, get faster and faster, a lot of practice. You got to run with a bunch of good guys, though, who will make you step up your game. One thing I learned early on, running with really, really fast guys. I ran with some of the guys you see in the Pro Series now. I ran with them a few years, some of them, but I can't commit to something like what they're doing. I just don't have the time or the setup knowledge. That's why this is a fixed setup league. But yeah, it's just consistency. That's all.
All right. Well, I mean, 87 there. You know, it had a lot of fun. I think you even had a teammate score or win, Chris Voiles, in the Truck Series at Dega. So it's been a positive thing there when you've had teammates, when you haven't had teammates. So it's still fun. You know, like you said, you committed to the season. You knew you were going to try for at least one, maybe more championships this winter season. You know, you got it in the trucks. Congrats. Tell us who you have to thank.
It's everybody out there watching. I see a lot of positive things in the broadcast chat room tonight, and I like to see that. So thank everybody for that. You guys really call a good race. I appreciate that all season. A lot of people who I send the links to really like it. John for putting on a good leg. My friend Darren's out there texting me right now, and he stays with me all season. I really appreciate it. Maybe I can get him in here and be a spotter for me one time. So I tell you what, though, we're gonna burn this thing down right now.
All right, well, you get at it, Justin. We'll move on to the next guy and have fun here burning that thing. Pop that motor.
All right, next up on the interview block, as we watch, we'll give it a second, though. We'll watch Justin Michael burn it down for a moment. He deserves that. Champion and, of course, race winner. Led 67 laps en route to victory here tonight, burning it down. And we'll move on to second place, Mitch Reeves, with the one and only John Solcheski. Take it away, John.
Mitch, you came close there. Tell us what was going through your mind in the last 20 laps when you were holding Justin off there.
I was hoping his internet would blow up, to be honest with you. Nah, man. I mean, I tried everything I could. Really, we caught a break with that caution, and he was just so much quicker in 3 and 4, and really just overall. And that's been kind of the MO all year. You know, I've been there, but just a little bit off. You know, we've been quicker than him at maybe just a handful of tracks, but Justin Michael's a bad to the bone, man. I've raced him for 3 or 4 years, and I messaged him before this, and I knew he was going to be one of us. It was going to kind of decide or depend how the race went, and this is about how I expected it to go. So,
Well, you ran a good race and you recovered well after that miscued pit stop. What are you going to have to do now to try to beat him next time?
Well, I'm just gonna have to be more aggressive. I think we're, and I'm not trying to be cocky. I really think I think we're able to get into the chase and run. But it's awesome to be able to run, as good as you are. But when the guy that you've got to beat's gonna keep on beating you until you change something, then you got to go back to the drawing board, and that's where dedication and a lot of practice in this goes a long way. And I know Justin's got a lot of time in this, so it's much deserved. Don't take anything away from him. He's bad to the bone and one of a really good buddy of mine. So if I was going to lose to somebody, if it wasn't somebody on my team, I'm glad it was Justin.
And last of all, is there anyone you want to thank for having this great season?
Yeah, man, I got to thank everybody. RaceGear.com first and foremost. They've been on the truck, Xfinity, and the Cup car. Through the whole year, one of the prettiest paint jobs I think in the field. I might be biased to that, but and the guy that makes it happen, John Herrick with Over the Top Paints and Designs, beautiful truck. A lot of the people out here's got his stuff on there, and Over the Top Motorsports. This is our first season together, and we had a strong run. We still got a little bit of a chance, I think, in the Cup Series to get a championship, but the other one too would have to be you guys up in the booth. Matt has kicked butt, and ASN and Jeff. I mean, Jeff doesn't even race anymore. All he does is announce, and that's a lot of respect given to him. And you coming on board as well. And last but not least is my girlfriend for everything she lets me do, and all the support and dedication she's got to us. So
Thank you for that, Mitchell. Now, let's ask a few questions to Ronald Klein. Anyone want to take it away with him?
I'll grab Ronald Klein. We'll bring him on up in here. Ronald Klein, the one and only. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. Another awesome season all of you guys at Loose Lugnuts put on. How do you feel about it?
I think the season was a great season. I hope the fans enjoyed the race tonight. I pretty much was watching the championship race in front of me the entire evening. We did something wrong on the last stop, but I got to watch the championship kind of develop right in front of my eyes for the most part. In the beginning of the race, it was Mitchell and Justin fighting pretty hard. Chadwick was up there kind of contending a little bit, and then he fell back, and then it was just Justin and Mitchell again, and then Mitchell had a problem, and lucky for him, a caution came out. But I felt like at that point, the truck was pretty good for us, but overall the season was just amazing in my opinion. I don't think that we could have asked for a better season or a better finish.
All right. Well, anyone you want to thank, sponsors, that kind of thing?
Let's start with you guys up in the booth for dedicating your time on Thursday nights to broadcast this. I know Jeff does a little more than just Thursday nights, but I want to thank you, Matt, for doing this, and hope to see you back next season. We'll talk about that, I'm sure. Thank you to John for jumping up in the booth, helping out. That's tremendous for the league. Everybody who supports the league. We got to go down the sponsors real quick. RaceGear.com, support the troops, which is the Truck Series sponsor. A Brucey Racewear USA. Scoops Old Fashioned Ice Cream for the other series. If it wasn't for the sponsors, things would still happen, but I don't think it would be as smooth as it is. So I really appreciate the sponsors. I was kind of, I'm not gonna lie here, I was kind of listening in on YouTube when Justin Michael was getting interviewed, and he said the fans, and I had scrolled through and saw how many people were talking to. So big shout out to all the fans. Thank you for tuning in. All the drivers, John Hedrick at Over the Top Designs, team owner, all my teammates. It's been a really great year.
All right, thanks. Talk to us, man. Looking forward to seeing you next season. Hopefully we'll be back in the broadcast booth. Really hoping on that. I love broadcasting this season. ASN's, it's been a great ride this year, and hope to be back. But yeah, no, good luck to you next season. Should be a great season.
Thank you, sir. You too.
All right, folks, and from all of us at the American Sim Network, we hope you enjoyed the ride this season, the 2019 winter season. It was a little bit bumpy at some points, but hey, we made it work. We stuck through it, and we put on one amazing show, I can tell you that. And we will hopefully see you next season. I'm not going to say guarantee because nothing in life is a guarantee, but I hope to be back next season with the amazing Loose Lugnuts Racing League group doing the same Thursday night fun. We'll see you then. Have a great one, everybody.